Hello, my name is Evan Davis, and I'm the Senior Sales Engineer at Trinit International. This is our one-port IP KVM switch, and so I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. It's got PS2 ports in the front, so you can connect your PS2 mouse and keyboard. It features a VGA connector, so you're going to connect a local monitor to it. It's going to be VGA. And then for your PC connections, you could use PS2 or USB for your peripherals, and it's always going to be a VGA connector for your video. This can be integrated into a KVM switch, so you can have a whole bank of computers be remotely controlled using our IP KVM switch here. You can actually connect this to a single computer as well, so if you want to have remote access to a single server on your network, you could do so as well. There's two viewing methods. You can use the Windows-based viewer, which is downloadable through the web-based web browser configuration, or also use a downloadable Java viewer, which is compatible on all other OSs. The IP KVM switch supports maximum resolution of 1280 by 1024, and the key advantage of the IP KVM switch is to have BIOS level viewing and up. So you can do like remote diagnostics, you can do remote installs if you needed to. So if you have mission critical servers you need to get to, this would be the product that you'd want to get here. So you can combine this also with our TK-IP101, which is a remote power control strip. And this allows you to actually power off a whole bank of computers or a single computer, and you can actually remotely do this using the IP KVM with the remote power control strip. So those two devices allow almost full control of your computers, powering on and off. Okay, so here is our package content. So this is all you get in the TK-IP101 packaging. So first off, of course, we have the TK-IP101. We have our multi-language quick installation guide. We have one user guide and utility CD-ROM included. We have a 1 meter or 3 foot Cat5 fast Ethernet cable. We have a power adapter, which is 9 volt, 2 amp, and it's got a power cord connector. We have the HDB 15 VGA PS2 KVM cables. So this is our 3-in-1 cable. So it's got 2 PS2, 1 PS2 for mouse, 1 PS2 for keyboard, and the other for VGA. We have a USB type A to B cable for our USB computers, servers, or KVMs. We have our 1x RJ12 to female serial port cable, which is 1 meter, 3.3 feet. We have 1x RJ12 to parallel port cable, 1 meter or 3.3 feet. And we have our 1x RS232 cable, which is 1.5 meter or 4.9 feet. And of course our RJ12 male serial port cable, 1 meter or 3.3 feet. And that wraps up our package contents. Now we'll move on. All right, so now we're going to go over the ports on the IP KVM, the TK-IP101. We have the purple PS2, so that's for your keyboard connection. So that's for the main keyboard for the computer or KVM that you're going to be controlling. The green is for PS2 mouse, so this is the main mouse for the local computer. And then we have a RJ12 connector, so this is for console management. Or also for the connection for the TK-IP101 remote control power strip. And we also have the LEDs, so we have Link, we have 10100, we have video, and we have power. And then on the rear of the device, we have the connection to your PC. So this is a VGA connector. This uses a 3-in-1 cable. So you would connect the one VGA connector here, and on the other end would be your PS2 and also your VGA connector for that particular computer or server or KVM switch. We have the VGA connector for the local monitor, so that's going to be monitor for the KVM switch or for the particular server you're controlling. We have a PC USB, so this is a USB connection to USB KVMs or USB servers or computers. We also have the Ethernet port, so this is a 10100 port, and we have an RJ12 for connection to an external modem. Okay, so now we're at the installation of our TK-IP101, our IPKVM here. So we're going to be using the keyboard here. It's a PS2 keyboard. We have a PS2 mouse here, so a PS2 mouse. And then we have our desktop, which has a VGA connector and also has PS2 ports. And then we have our VGA, so we have our main monitor here. We have our RJ45 Ethernet cable, so this is connected to the network as well as connected to the internet. So this works as local or remote. And then we have our KVM 3-in-1 cable here that came with the IPKVM, or the IP101. So we have VGA on one side, so this actually will connect to the portion here on the KVM, the PC KVM. So what we'll do here is we'll start with the cable. So we're going to plug this in, and we're going to screw it in here. So we're going to secure that in. All right. And then we're going to take our PS2 and VGA connector, and we're going to connect it to our desktop. So we're going to plug in the VGA, PS2 keyboard, PS2 mouse, okay, so that's in there. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to turn around the KVM, and we're going to connect in our PS2 mouse here. So I'll secure that in. And then our PS2 keyboard, we're going to plug that in. So you got those in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn it around one more time. So we'll bring this around. We're going to connect the VGA, so this is our monitor here. So this is going to connect into the VGA port. And we're going to screw it in. There you go. So now you got your monitor and your PC KVM cable secured. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn it around one more time, and we're going to connect our RJ45 connector here. So we're going to take the RJ45 connector, and we're going to connect it into the Ethernet port. So just so you guys can see it here. There you go. All right. So we got everything connected. So there that is. You guys can see it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to connect the power cord. So this is connected to our power outlet down on the floor. And we're going to plug it into the side of our IPKVM. So right there. And you'll see the LEDs light up. So now that we've powered on our computer, just to show you guys that it's all working here. So our monitor's powered on. We're at our login screen for Windows. So right now, just to show you guys how it's all connected, we have our keyboard, which is connected to our purple PS2 port here, and we have our mouse, which is connected to our green PS2 here. This is controlling the computer locally as we speak now, but with now the IPKVM in between the mouse and keyboard, and now having the Ethernet connection to the network, we can access it locally or remotely over the internet using one of our viewers. So that's what we're going to show you next. Okay, so now we're going to connect the TK-IP101 IPKVM to our TK-IP101, which is our remote power controller. So we're going to connect our included mail serial to RJ12 cable, which came with the TK-IP101. And so first we're going to connect it to the RJ12 port on the rear of the TK-IP101. So we're going to plug that in there. So there that is. And then we're going to plug in the mail serial to the back of the TK-IP101. So we're going to plug it into this serial port here. So we're going to plug it in and secure it in here. and then we are going to plug in our computer. This is our server into PC port 1. And now we are going to move on to the remote power configuration. So we're actually going to go into the web browser and configure the command so we can remotely power off our servers. So we'll continue with that. All right, so now we're going to log into our TK-IP101 IPKVM switch, and we're going to log into the web browser configuration, and we're going to enter in the power control commands to power our server connected on and off using the software utility, whether it be the Windows utility or the Java utility.